When Crysis 3 released on February 19th of 2013, it didn't set the world on fire. Though 3 million people participated in the pre-release multiplayer demo and the game sold well in its first month, both its publisher EA and creator Seve Irli were disappointed in the game. The game had failed to meet EA's sales expectations, and Irli was disappointed that the game was not as big a hit as the prior two Crysis titles. But that certainly didn't stop people from playing and enjoying the game. Over 1.4 million people are registered on the Crysis 3 leaderboard rankings on Xbox 360 alone, and it's likely that PS3 numbers are similar, with the PC potentially even higher. It's obvious that the game must have been somewhat successful, as the Lost Island DLC was released for the game later on in 2013. On top of that, since its release, Crysis 3 was free for a month with PS Plus in August 2014, and free with Xbox Live Gold in September 2015. Since then, Crysis 3 has seen a small but extremely dedicated community build up around the multiplayer of the game. Various players have submitted games on YouTube, with extremely high kill counts, claiming various records and showing off their skills. You have the greats from Xbox like Sandbox going 79-5, or Elementary with an insane score of 93-5. There was Unknown Soldier with his Clan Wars, and Coyote with his legendary Rex charges, and so much more. On PS3, there's Diego Sniper with many videos, and Gio Vega with his Crysis 3 Encyclopedia and other exceptional games. The PC has a strong YouTube presence as well, with Phenomenon's videos getting thousands of views, and Pisoholics nearly 1,000 multiplayer live streams. It's actually insane how much that guy streams. You should totally check him out. People mess around with exploits and glitches in private game modes, having fun with the broken physics. They play hockey with poles and cars, or fly through the air with the Rex charge and shield glitch. Players also share how to get out of the maps or how to perform complex glitches, like the visor bug or the invincibility glitch, or the weapon sights glitch, or the auto armor glitch, which I myself still don't even fully understand. The point is that throughout these 8 years, Crysis 3 has had a small cult following that other games never even came close to building. Crysis 3 was released during a time when all first-person shooters had to have a tacked-on multiplayer, and Crysis 3 did it so well that people still play the game online 8 years later. That's right, you heard me clearly. Crysis 3, a game that was overlooked by nearly everyone, has a tiny but active online community in 2021. This is not just exclusive to the Xbox 360, which holds weekly games nearly every day, but also extends to the PS3 and PC. In fact, people still share these recent Crysis 3 games in 2021, with channels like Lag HD and classic PC games proving that there is a community on both PC and PS3. In fact, the amount of people playing and uploading PC gameplay has only increased in recent months, with people like Flinta, Roger S., White Eagle, Gurshesh Singha, John R71, Rave Roar, and many others all sharing recent PC games. 8 years later, Crysis 3 multiplayer is far from alive, but it's also far from dead and forgotten about. It may not take many people to keep the game alive, but this small community support is more than some games could ever hope to receive. Crysis 3 multiplayer outlasted games like Body Count, Far Cry 3, Titanfall, Medal of Honor Warfighter, Enemy Front, Sniper Ghost Warrior, Homefront, Bioshock 2, and many more. All of those games are dead. They have no lasting multiplayer community like Crysis 3 does, at least not on Xbox 360, and likely on console in general. Hell, Crysis 3 multiplayer lasted longer than that Overwatch clone Battleborn, lasted longer than Cliffy B's Lawbreakers and that terrible Battle Royale game like Radical Heights and Culling 2, and it's fared better than Anthem, and probably sold better than the recent Microsoft exclusive Crackdown 3. I personally think that this is one of Crytek's biggest achievements, that there is an active, tiny, minuscule community supporting this game 8 years after launch. Crytek didn't even acknowledge that it owned the Crysis IP for like 5 whole years, but they did the absolute minimum to foster an online community, and one built up anyway. The game was just that good. The fact that people still play it 8 years later is a testament to the skill of the developers. Who knew that taking the Call of Duty formula and slapping Crysis on there makes for an extremely fun game? The combat is fun, fast, and exciting, made all the more frantic and aggressive by a bug that allows weapons to be reloaded instantly. I'm dead serious. One of the features that makes combat so intense is the ability to cancel reload animations by sliding, which reloads the weapon instantly, creating unique movement tech and strategy, and contributing to the fast-paced combat. People still play this game because it's unique. There's been nothing like it in the gaming market since, and because the game is fun. That's it, really. If you make a good game, people will play it until the servers are turned off. It's really that simple. The nanosuit allows for combat that you cannot find in any other game. Having to balance the usage of a cloak, which gives you invisibility to sneak around but leaves you vulnerable to instant death, and an armor mode, which reduces the amount of damage you take but makes you slower, creates an addicting gameplay loop. The maps are sprawling, with large multiple tiered arenas, and you might even say that one is too large, but it's this verticality that makes the nanosuit fun to use. Players can jump 10 feet on the air in a whim, leading to all sorts of tactical options and places to run, duck, and slide. The maps strike a balance between open arenas and congested hallways, preventing the player from relying on one single strategy or weapon, and it feeds into the fast flow of combat. The forced 7 seconds of kill cam that one must watch after being killed gives death power and weight and raises the stakes in combat as you cannot instantly respawn. The game is nothing short of a masterpiece of multiplayer action, and the 100 of us or so who stick around across all platforms recognize this fact and refuse to let the game go. Until Crytek releases a new Crysis game with a new multiplayer, or until this multiplayer formula is embraced by a different game, it's impossible to move on when there is so much enjoyment to be had. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Crysis 3's multiplayer is a masterpiece, and it's not too late to experience that for yourself 8 years later. The community that still supports it recognizes this incredible game and does its best to keep it alive, and it may live until EA shuts the servers down. Just like with the Battlefield franchise, how there are unique gameplay moments that you can only get in a Battlefield game, Crysis 3 has those moments too. There's nothing like the counterplay between shutting down someone's 30 seconds of invincibility with a solid pole throw, or destroying someone with a swarmer, or getting a one-hit kill with a predator bow. 8 years later, people still support this game, uploading footage of it to YouTube, playing countless rounds every week, trying to collect all the dog tags, trying to boost their KDRs. It's truly incredible what this little community has accomplished. I am by no means the face of it, and my word is not gospel. I do not speak for everyone, but personally at least, I can say that there is no other game like Crysis 3 multiplayer, and I enjoy every round I play. I sincerely encourage you to pick it up and play the multiplayer as soon as you can. The game is backwards compatible on Xbox 360, meaning you can play it on the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X. It's on Game Pass right now because Game Pass includes EA Access. Crysis 3 is on Steam now, and it's on Origin, or you can buy a used copy of Crysis 3 for Xbox 360 or PS3 for next to nothing. There is no excuse not to try this game before it's too late, and it won't last forever. In 2015, there used to be 300 players at peak times. In 2017, this dropped to nearly 30, and since then, there has only been one full lobby at peak times, at least on the Xbox 360. People play this game in the evenings, on weekends, on holidays, during times when the most amount of people are playing video games in general. Don't load up the game on a Monday and assume that everyone is going to be in the lobby, but don't get disappointed and assume that the game is dead either. Crysis 3's total community may be nearly as large as my high school graduating class, or the amount of people playing at a certain time might be outnumbered by the amount of people in space on a slow day, but the game still has a community, and that community is doing its best to keep this game alive. Will I get to ramble about this game, talking in circles, trying to celebrate its 9th birthday again next year? Will the servers still be up? I don't know. Nothing is certain, except for Crysis 3's multiplayer being one of the best ever. That much is a fact. I hope I get to see you in a game of Crysis 3 soon. I'm out. Thank you to everyone in the community who is keeping this game active on all consoles and all platforms. Happy 8th birthday, Crysis 3.